Kroger executive admits company gouged prices above inflation. Top company leader, just jumped on me. Top company leader of Kroger has admitted during an antitrust trial the company gouged prices on select items above inflation level. While testing to a Federal Trade Commission attorney Tuesday, Kroger Senior Director for Pricing, Andy Gouged, said the grocery giant had raised prices for eggs and milk beyond inflation levels. This is not at all surprising, Drew Power, the founder of Illinois-based Power Financial Group, told Newsweek. Companies across multiple industries have been posting record profits since COVID-19 crisis, while consumers have faced the highest inflation in recent history. The math can only point to companies raising prices above the general level of inflation. As the old saying goes, never let a good crisis go to waste. Now, this comes as they're having the trials right now because Kroger and Albertsons, whoever the parent, I think it's Albertsons, the parent company of Albertsons, are about to merge. Mm-hmm. And so when they merge, they're going to be the majority grocery store, especially here in Washington.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so
you know that Kamala said that she's trying to stop that too as well. Like they're trying to get away from so many mergers. This is what's happening across the board. This is happening in banking. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and as the more these, even the food, like the ones who are the food distributors, all those people, they're trying to stop the mergers because then it squeezes us into our selection is very, very few. And then they really control everything. There's no telling us what we're going to charge for. We're going to charge what we want to charge for it. You know, I think, maybe the government should get into producing food. I mean, that might be something that we might need to think of.
Or maybe we should all just grow our own food. I mean, I know it's going to be hard in the wintertime, but I mean, people should set up community gardens, greenhouses indoors. I mean, if we grew our own food and we took care of our own, we could do it. And the whole thing is the media keeps everyone separated. You're so angry, but when you go outside and you just talk to random people, you realize everybody's chill. Except for that guy in the corner talking about Jesus is coming, but everyone else is cool. You go to a bar, everyone's singing the songs with you. Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba.
Listen, I'm like this, man.
Not that one. That one.
I mean, maybe that one.
Do the Humpty Hump. Watch me do the Humpty Hump. You want the Humpty dance?
All I'm saying is,
that's why you ain't got no hair, brother.
When you think about, listen to this guy. When you think about the food prices in general, you know, I mean, you're looking at. I mean, if they're coming out and they're having to say this, you know, at a committee hearing that, yes, we were gouging prices, and everyone's angry, like, oh, why are we they're calling it communism if Kamala Harris comes out and says that she wants to stop price gouging, but they're telling you they're doing it. They're telling us straight up, hey, we're raising prices on milk, eggs, all kind of stuff, just on GP. We just doing it because we can. They're telling you this, but these are the same people that we're supplementing. Like, let's not forget, like when you're talking about government assistance, we're talking about food stamps, right? Other programs, WIC, whatever else. Those are all government assisted programs. So that means that every year, a certain amount of hundreds of billions of dollars are being given to these same places, Kroger's and, you know what I mean, Fred Meyer's and all these other Walmarts are getting this from the government. Straight up, here you go. This is how much they're going to give to you, like, period. I mean, this is coming into your pocket. You know, and so if the government, if we're going to give them money like this, period, plain and simple, then we should have some control over them gouging us on prices.
Well, I mean, it's like, you know, they subsidize their workers too. They'd be like, we're not going to pay you a livable wage, and the government's going to pay us to do that because they're just going to subsidize it and fucking give you food stamps and stuff. And I apologize. I shouldn't have talked about my partner's hair loss. Alopecia is a real thing, and everybody should just be aware that it's out there. And I shouldn't be insulting him, he, Shine. That's his pronouns.
Hey, if I were to sit back and say some of the things I said to him offline, people probably wouldn't like me. So I'm going to let him go ahead and give his shots off. I don't ever call him fat.
He said if I took my shirt off, I look like the Michelin Man.
It's not for me to say. But listen,
he said I keep Kool-Aid packets and fried chicken under my folds.
But this is like a serious issue, man. Like, we really need to, like.
It is serious. It is serious. The price gouging is ridiculous. We all see it. We all know it. We all see it. We all know it. Start stealing.
I'm just like, I mean, at the end of the day, if I feel like we need to have some kind of legislation on this. I mean, I know everyone's going to have their own socialism. It's communism. It's this, is that. But I mean, if you keep on letting people overcharge you, you're taking taking money out of a lot of people's pockets who need it for other things.
Yeah, a lot of people should watch that movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas. Came out in the 80s. You remember that movie?
I remember that movie.
And I was showing my kids the other day. It's because he's trying to make a phone call. Back then, a phone call was $0.25. So he goes in to see, like, hey, I need change for $1. The guy's like, no change. You buy something. He's like, I just want to make a phone call. He's like, no, you got to buy something. So he goes and grabs a Pepsi. Back then, a soda can was 50 cents. Homeboy's like, 85 cents. He's like, 85 cents? He's like, I can't even make a phone call with that. He's like, I just want to make a phone call. And he's like, no, 85 cents or get out. So they struggle, and so then the guy whips out the bat. The shop owner, Michael Douglas, takes it from him, and he's like, you know what? Let's go through your prices. And he starts tearing up the store. He's like, how much for this pack of donuts? He's like $2.50. He's like, come on, man. Smashes up the store, and he's like, okay, now then after he smashes up the dude's store, he sits the soda down. And he says, how much for this can of Coca-Cola? And he's like, 50 cents. Rings it up, takes his 50 cents, leaves the dollar, and goes, makes a phone call, calls his daughter. So and the whole movie goes through him it's crazy because nothing has changed. It just got worse. And if everyone has time, watch that movie by Michael Douglas called Falling Down. You'll love it.
It's basically just feeding back into the fact that right now, if we're going to get gouged on prices, man, let's not let it be a thing we're fighting amongst ourselves saying that, oh, well, you're a communist if you want to tell these people not to overcharge us for certain things. If we're subsidizing not only them, we're subsidizing the farmers as well too. So a lot of these places actually own the farms too. There's not Kroger just doesn't own any farms. They're just like we're just going to own the grocery store. They own a lot of farms and stuff like that too.
Many jobs actually. All grocery stores are run off their produce. That's what they run off. That's their main thing. They run off their produce. They sell items in the store, but then as you see, they have their extra items that they sell. Like you'll see Hershey's, then you'll see like great value Hershey's. But all grocery stores are run off their produce. That's their number one stuff. I used to work at Safeway, and every time the produce went bad, you had to put it in a produce pile because they would take it out there and make mulch with it and put it back in their stuff. So everything runs off the produce. But grocery stores are cutthroat as hell. Like, I've never seen, like, there was a grocery chain out here. I can't remember the name of it, but they wanted to expand. And so what Albertson Safeway did is that they cut everyone's hours at the job. You know what I'm saying? So before everyone was having 40 hours, they cut everybody's hours to like 32 or something like that. So it made it seem like all the stores were making more money. And what they did is they sold all their underperforming stores to this company. I can't remember what it was, but then they moved in there. They tried to have the same prices. People in Washington are loyal to grocery stores.
Yeah.
So the company all went under. They all went under. It had to file for bankruptcy, all that stuff. And then they sued Albertsons and Safeway because they realized they proved. They're like, look, you cheated us. You made the prices. You milked the prices, and then you sold us your underperforming stores.
So I think that was who bought Albertsons.
It was a green. Albertsons is Safeway and Albertsons is owned by Albertsons. But it was like it was a grocery store chain out here in Washington. They
came out here for a little while. They're out here for a short period of time. I can't remember. They're the ones who bought Albertsons though. Yeah, they came in right after Albertsons, and then they end up going into
they went bankrupt because that's what they did. They sold them all the stores that weren't performing, but they made it seem like they were making money because they cut all the employees' hours. I was working there when this happened.
Yeah,
I was like, damn.